Rip Van Winkle, 2. Rip thought it must be one of his neighbors, so he went to help the person. The man was carrying something that looked quite heavy. When Rip got closer, he saw a strange-looking man dressed in old-fashioned Dutch clothes. The man, who was carrying a barrel of liquor, asked Rip to help him with his heavy load. Rip gave him a hand. Rip and the man walked over the mountains in silence. Rip could not imagine why the man was bothering to carry the heavy barrel. After some time, they came into an area of the mountains where some strange-looking people were playing a game similar to bowling. They also wore old-fashioned clothes. The men all had beards, and some wore hats. Rip thought that they all looked serious. When he and his companion approached them, the men stopped playing their game. Rip was ordered to serve liquor to them. He was trembling, but the men just stared at him and drank the liquor. Once he relaxed, Rip also enjoyed drinking the liquor. It was good, so he drank lots more. He fell asleep. When he woke up, it was a bright, sunny morning. "Surely I didn't sleep here all night," Rip asked himself. He was still on the mountain, near to where he had first seen the old man. "Oh, I must have got quite drunk. My wife will be angry with me," he told himself. He went to pick up his gun, but all he found was a rusty rifle with the lock falling off. "Someone must be playing a joke on me," he said, scratching his head. Wolf had also disappeared. Rip whistled and called after his pet, but there was no sign of his dog. Rip only heard his voice echo throughout the mountains. Rip went back to the place where he had been the night before, when he had met the strange person. He was surprised to now find a mountain stream running through the area. He tripped and fell many times. He still could not find Wolf, and so he decided to head home because he was tired and hungry. As Rip entered his village, he met some people, but nobody that he knew. Rip was surprised because he thought he knew everybody in his village and the surrounding area. He noticed that they wore very different fashions. They also stared at him in surprise and kept rubbing their chins. When Rip rubbed his own chin, he discovered that his beard was very long. Strange children ran after him as he walked further into his village. Rip was very confused. His village was much bigger. More people lived there, but he didn't recognize anyone. There were rows of houses that he had never seen before. Everything was strange. "That liquor has sent me mad," Rip thought nervously. In the end, he found his own house. He expected Mrs. Van Winkle to come running out the door any minute, but all was silent. The house was falling to bits. The windows and doors were broken, and the roof had fallen in. A half-starved dog that looked like Wolf was near the door. The animal growled at Rip. Inside the house was empty. Rip was scared. He called out for his wife and children, but there was only silence. He ran down to the village pub, but it was gone. Just a wooden building stood there. It was also a pub. People were drinking and talking inside. Rip looked for his friends, Mr. Vedder and Mr. Van Bummel, but he could not find them.